I killed my best friend today. Not with a gun or a knife, but with a single email sent from her own boardroom desk, the one she'd stolen from me along with my face. It was a murder in the eyes of the law. Hell, it was poetic justice, but as I watched her empire crumble on the trading floor screens below, I felt the weight of what I'd become, a ghost in someone else's skin, ready to burn it all down. And the worst part? I did it smiling, because forgiveness was for suckers. And revenge? That's the American dream when you've got nothing left but spite. My name used to be Samantha Hayes.
Now?
I'm Elena Voss. At least that's what my ID says. The one I stare at every morning like it's a bad joke. But let's back up to the night it all flipped, literally. The rain hammered Chicago's loop like it had a personal grudge, turning Michigan Avenue into a slick black river under the neon glow of luxury storefronts. It was June 2023. The kind of humid summer night where the air clings to your skin like regret. And I was hustling out of Vosteka's headquarters after pulling another all-nighter. At 28, I was the invisible cog in the machine, junior analyst, buried in spreadsheets for Elena Voss, the queen bitch CEO who'd clawed her way to the top of the fintech world on rumors and ruthless deals. Elena wasn't just my boss, she was my best friend, or so I'd thought since college at Northwestern, where we'd bonded over cheap beer and dreams of conquering Wall Street. I'd covered for her more times than I could count. That DUI in sophomore year? I took the wheel in the story, let her sob on my shoulder while I faced the campus hearing alone. The internship scam, where she fudged resumes? I confessed to the prof. 8, the expulsion scare. And the big one, the insider trading tip that could have tanked her early career? I buried the evidence in a ghost server, whispering alibis when the SEC came knocking. "You're my ride or die, Sam," she'd say, clinking glasses at rooftop bars overlooking the lake. "I'd do the same for you, liar." That night, as I dashed through the storm to my beat-up Honda in the garage, my phone buzzed. Elena's text, "Get your ass back up here." Boardroom.
Now.
No, please. No explanation, just the whip crack of her entitlement. I cursed under my breath, wiped rain from my eyes, and rode the elevator back up to the 52nd floor. The doors opened to silence, the kind that echoes like a tomb. Vosteka's offices were a shrine to excess, glass walls etched with binary code, ergonomic thrones disguised as chairs, and a conference table long enough to host a UN summit. Elena stood at the head, silhouetted against the city skyline, her blonde bob impeccable even at 2 a.m., nursing a tumbler of what smelled like top-shelf bourbon.
"Some.
Baby," she purred, no trace of the exhaustion that had her voice cracking earlier on our last call. "We need to talk about tomorrow's pitch." I dropped my soaked trench coat over a chair, forcing a smile. "The merger with Apex?" I triple-checked the projections. "We're golden, 15% growth in Q3 if we lock in those offshore accounts."
She didn't sit.
Didn't even look at me. Instead, she slid a sleek black case across the table, the kind that screams prototype in Silicon Valley whispers. "Open it." Inside was a pair of neural visors, sleek as Ray-Bans, wired to a humming laptop. I'd heard rumors in the R&D labs, Vosteka's black budget project, Echo Swap, supposedly a VR tool for empathy training, letting execs walk in their employees' shoes. But Elena's eyes gleamed with something feral, like a cat toying with a half-dead mouse. "Put them on," she said. "Both of us." "Trust me." I hesitated. The air felt thicker, charged like before a lightning strike.
"Elena."
"It's late." "What's this really about?" Her laugh was sharp, Champagne bubbles in acid. The merger's a sham.
Some.
Apex is onto us, the feds too. That insider tip? It traces back to you. My stomach dropped faster than the stock market in '08.
What?
I buried that years ago.
For you.
Exactly. She stepped closer, visor in hand. And now it's biting me in the ass. But Echo Swap? It's more than VR. It's a full neural bridge, swaps consciousness for 72 hours. Undetectable. I need you to borrow my life. Just for the pitch. Sell the deal as me. Take the fall if it blows. Then swap back. I'll owe you forever. It sounded insane. Unethical. A felony wrapped in tech bro fairy dust. But Elena was family, the sister I never had. The one who'd promised to launch me to VP someday. And the alternative? Watching her crash and burn, dragging me down as her patsy.
Fine. I mattered.
Slipping on the visor. But this better not fry my brain. The world dissolved in a whirl of static and vertigo. It felt like falling through ice-cold shock. Then warmth.
Then.
Nothing. I woke gasping on the boardroom floor. The carpets weave imprinting my cheek. Rain still lashed the windows. But the clock read 2:17 a.m. Only minutes past?
Elena, no.
Her body knelt beside me, concern etching lines around eyes that were suddenly mine. Hazel, not her ice blue. Sam, you okay? I bolted up, heart jackhammering. My hands slender, manicured, sporting a $5,000 Rolex, weren't mine. I touched my face, high cheekbones, full lips, the faint scar from her ski accident in Aspen. What the fuck? Elena? She grinned. But it was my grin, girl next door sweet on a stranger's face. It worked.
God.
You look ridiculous in my blouse. Relax, 72 hours.
Tops.
Go home. Sleep it off in my penthouse. I'll crash at your place in Wicker Park. Deals tomorrow at 10. Panic clawed my throat. This wasn't empathy training, it was identity theft. Swap us back. Now.
Can't.
Calibration lag. Needs a full cycle to reverse without neural damage. She stood, adjusting my old jeans like they were couture. Trust me?
Some.
One favor for a lifetime of them. You're me now. Act like it. She left me there. The keys to her Audi in her hand, the black case zipped shut like a coffin. I stumbled to the bathroom mirror, staring at Elena Voss, 32.
Poised.
The woman who'd graced Forbes 30 under 30. Her life a ladder I'd helped build rung by rung. My reflection smirked back. But inside, Samantha Hayes screamed. That night, in her Gold Coast penthouse, marble counters, skyline views worth millions, I paced like a caged wolf. Elena's phone blew up, texts from board members, lovers, a senator with urgent Apex files attached. I ignored them, chugging her Pinot until the room spun. By dawn, rage had crystallized. If she thought I'd play puppet, she was wrong. I'd dive into her world, unravel the threads, and make her beg for the swap back. But as I suited up in her walk-in closet, Armani silk against skin that felt alien, I had no idea how deep the rot went. Or that the favor was her exit strategy from an empire built on bones. Mine included. The apex pitch was a circus, gray-suited sharks circling a mahogany table in Vosteka's demo suite, holographic charts flickering like fireflies. Elena, strode in at 9:58, channeling every power pose from her TED Talk clips I'd binged at 4 a.m. "Gentlemen, ladies," I said, voice steady despite the tremor in my gut. "Let's make history." They ate it up. I dazzled with projections, my work. "Thank you." Sealed the deal with a handshake and a veiled threat about regulatory friends. By noon, Vostech stock ticked up 8%. Champagne corks popped. And I was Elena Voss, untouchable. But victory soured fast. In her office, rifling drawers for the Echo Swap manual, I found the first crack. A burner phone. Text to a ghost. Hayes takes the hit. Swap at dawn. Clean slate. My blood ran cold. This wasn't temporary. Elena had framed me for the old insider trade, doctored logs pinning it on my IP. The SEC raid was scheduled for day 3 of the swap. She'd vanish into my life. Low-profile analyst in a walk-up, while I rotted as the fall guy in her body, facing charges that'd bury me. Betrayal hit like a freight train. All those favors, I'd been her shield, her scapegoat, groomed for this slaughter. Elena Voss wasn't just ambitious, she was a sociopath in Louboutins, trading lives like stocks. I didn't cry. I plotted. First, access her vaults, digital and otherwise. Her password was our old sorority chant, "Sisters Forever." Hypocrite. By evening, I'd hacked her private server, emails to lobbyists, bribes to regulators, a slush fund siphoning millions from employee pensions. Vostech wasn't fintech, it was a Ponzi pyramid, preying on 401(k)s of the working stiffs like pre-swap me. And the secret she'd buried deepest? A file labeled collateral, SH. Photos of me, at 22, drunk and vulnerable after a bad breakup.
Her arm around me at a party.
But the timestamp, wait.
No. Forged.
She drugged me that night. Staged compromising pics to leverage if I ever turned. The mistake I'd covered? It was her assault on a rival intern, pinned on me via those photos. I'd taken the whispers, the stalled career, thinking it was bad luck. She'd let me fester in mediocrity, all while climbing. Rage boiled into resolve. If she wanted a clean slate, I'd give her one shattered. But 72 hours? I had to move fast, play her part without cracking. Dinner with the senator that night, steak at Gibson's, where I laughed at his jokes, slipped a USB with Apex anomalies into his napkin. For old time's sake, I toasted, watching him pocket it. Seed planted. Day 2 dawned with a hangover and a tail, a black SUV shadowing the Audi to a Loop coffee shop. Paranoia? Or her contingency? I ditched it in traffic, headed to her, my temporary, vault at Chase private client. Signature forged, her hand was easier to mimic than I'd admit. I withdrew $250,000 in cash. Untraceable. Fuel for the fire. By afternoon, I was deep in her social web, lunch with the board, where I confided doubts about Apex's due diligence. Whispers spread like flu in flu season. Evening brought a gala at the Art Institute, black tie, donors schmoozing over Degas knockoffs. There, I cornered her lead counsel, a weasel named Hargrove, with a doctored email chain accidentally forwarded from her account. Fix this, or the Times gets it, I hissed in her clipped tone. He paled, nodding furiously. Exhaustion clawed at me as I crashed in the penthouse, Elena's silk sheets tangling like lies. In the mirror, her face mocked me, beautiful, broken. Tomorrow, swap back. Or so she thought. But I'd rigged the device. A subtle code tweak from her own R&D notes. When the cycle hit, it'd lock us permanent. She'd rot in my skin, dodging bill collectors in Wicker Park, while I dismantled her throne brick by brick. It was controversial. Sure, stealing a life? Vigilante justice in a nation of laws. But America loves its underdogs. Right? The little guy flipping the script on the elite. Or was I just the monster now? Mirroring her sins? Sleep came fitful. Dreams of swap screams. Day 3 broke gray and merciless. The kind of Chicago morning where the wind off the lake slices through cashmere like a grudge. I woke to Elena's phone vibrating off the nightstand, her in my body. Texting from my crappy burner. Pitch killed it. SEC tomorrow, play dumb. Swap at midnight.
Love ya. Love ya.
The words curdled in my mouth. I deleted it, blocked the number, and geared up for war. First stop, Vosteka's sublevel lab, where Echo Swap was born. Badge swipe, hers, gold-plated. And I was in a sterile bunker of humming servers and white-coated techies who jumped when Elena barked for coffee. The head engineer, a twitchy kid named Raj, stammered through the reversal protocol. MS. Voss. The neural bridge is stable.
But.
Logs show an anomaly. Someone accessed the core code last night. I fixed him with her ice blue stare. Fix it. Or find a new job in Gary. He scrambled. None the wiser that the anomaly was me, planting a virus to fry the backups.
No reversal. No escape hatch. Permanent swap.
From there, the real games began. I leaked the pension skim to a Bloomberg contact, anonymous tip. Voss Tech whistleblower. By lunch, headlines buzzed. Fintech giant accused of raiding worker savings. Stock plunged 12%. Board calls flooded in. I fielded them from the C-suite. Voice calm as a surgeon's scalpel. Rumors. Gentlemen. We'll sue. But inside.
Triumphant.
Elena would have spun it, I amplified it. Afternoon brought Hargrove to the office, sweating through his Brooks Brothers. The senators pulling support. Apex is auditing. What the hell? I leaned back in her leather throne. Feet up. What the hell is right? You buried the Hayes file, now dig deeper. Or I air your offshore accounts. His eyes bulged. He didn't know the Hayes file was gospel truth, not her fabrication. He slunk out, dialing hitmen or hackers, I didn't care which. Evening descended into chaos. A rival firm, Blackthorn Capital, smelled blood, hostile takeover whispers at the Mercantile Exchange. I met their shark, a silver-haired fixer named Malone, in a shadowed booth at the Billy Goat Tavern under the L tracks. Grease and garlic hung heavy, no place for Vostek polish. Make an offer, I said, sliding a napkin with inflated numbers. Or I tank you next, he chuckled, low and smoky. Ruthless.
Voss.
Heard you swapped souls for this deal. My blood iced how? Paranoia. Or her leak. I laughed it off. Sealed the alliance with a bourbon handshake. Blackthorn as White Knight? Controversial move. Propping my enemy's empire on a competitor's dime.
But it bought time.
Back at the penthouse, I prepped the trap. Elena's calendar, swap rendezvous, Wicker Park. 11 p.m. She'd come crawling in my skin, expecting absolution. I'd rigged the lab remote, midnight trigger for the lock-in. But doubt gnawed. Was this revenge? Or suicide? In her body. I was a target. Paparazzi flashes outside the building. Tabloids sniffing for dirt on the Ice Queen's sudden personality shift. A knock shattered the silence. Not Elena, her ex. Victor Kane. Tech VC, with a jawline like a Marvel villain. Elena and I partied with him at South by Southwest. He was her dirty secret. The one who bankrolled Echo Swap-Off books. Lena, he drawled, slipping inside uninvited. Armani slacks hugging his frame. You look haunted. Rough merger. I poured scotch.
Stalling.
You have no idea. Probe. Casual questions about the device's origins. He spilled. DARPA grant gone rogue. Neural mapping for PTSD vets. Twisted into Voss's pet project. You tested it on strays first, he said, winking. That barista in Austin? Woke up as a dog walker for a week. Hilarious.
Sick.
But gold. Proof of human trials. Illegal as hell. I recorded it discreetly. Phone hidden in my lapel. And Samantha Hayes? I pressed.
Heart pounding.
She a stray too? Victor's grin faded. Collateral. Elena's call framed her clean. Girl took the heat like a champ. He reached for me, her hand, eyes hungry. But enough shop talk. Let's celebrate. I recoiled, spilling scotch. Not tonight, he pressed, lips brushing my neck, and for a split second, I saw it, the power she wielded, bodies as currency. Rage surged, I shoved him hard, her lithe frame surprisingly strong.
Out.
Now. He stormed off, muttering threats. Door slammed. I sank to the floor, shaking. Touch from a stranger in stolen skin, violation layered on violation. But his slip confirmed it. Elena had planned this for years, grooming me as the perfect patsy. The buried secret? Not just the framed job, the assault pics weren't staged. She'd let me believe they were to keep me loyal. But the intern? It was me. Blacked out. Waking with bruises and blanks. She'd saved me by covering it up, as her cover. Tears came then, hot and foreign on her cheeks. I'd suffered for her sins. Lost promotions. Lovers who whispered damaged goods. No wonder my life stalled. She poisoned it from afar. 11:45 p.m. I drove to Wicker Park. The Audi's growl echoing my fury. My old walk-up loomed, sagging porch light flickering like a dying star. Elena waited on the stoop in my body, frumpy sweater over my curves, hair a mess that used to be mine. Sam, she whispered as I approached, visor case in hand. You did it. I saw the stock bump. Genius. I stopped short. Rain beating on her, my all lashes. Pitch went fine. But the SEC? That's on you. Her eyes narrowed. My own gaze turning feral. What did you do? Nothing.
Yet.
I held up the case.
Lab.
Now. She followed, chattering apologies, excuses, stress, ambition. It was temporary. I swear. Lies slithered like Lake Street traffic. In the Audi, en route to Vostech, she touched my arm, her arm.
Some.
Forgive me. Sisters forever. Right? I jerked away. Sisters don't steal souls. Midnight hit in the lab. Raj long gone. Visors on. Hum built to a whine. Static swirled. Vertigo gripped. But when clarity snapped back, nothing changed. I blinked at the console. Reversal failed. Lock engaged. Elena ripped off her visor. My face, twisting in horror. What the fuck? Sam. Fix it. I removed mine slowly, savoring her panic.
Can't. Your toy.
Your rules. Welcome to permanence. You bitch. She lunged, but I was faster, her body honed by Pilates and spite. I pinned her, against the server rack, whispering the truths, the leaks, the bribes, the recorded confessions. Your empire's crumbling. And now, you're Samantha Hayes. Jobless. Broke. Haunted by ghosts you made. She thrashed,
Sobbing. Please.
I'll give you everything money. The company. Too late. I released her, stepping back as security alarms wailed, my anonymous tip to building management. Cops would come. Find Elena Voss raving about body swaps. A disheveled Samantha in custody. She'd look insane. I'd look like the victim. As they dragged her away, screaming my name, I straightened her jacket. Elena Voss stared out from the squad car window, but it was my eyes pleading. Controversial? Hell yes, locking someone in your prison of a life. But justice isn't clean. It's a mirror, shattering on impact. Dawn broke as I drove back to the penthouse. Radio blaring WBBM, Vostech CEO detained in bizarre rant. Stock in freefall. I poured coffee black, like my soul now, and toasted the mirror. To new beginnings. But revenge is a hungry god. It whispered, this is just the start. Weeks blurred into a fever dream of power and paranoia. As Elena Voss, I was a phoenix in stilettos, stock dipped, then rebounded on strong leadership spin. The board hailed me as the savior who'd navigated the crisis, oblivious to the swap. I promoted myself to unchallenged CEO. Sideline doubters with golden parachutes and NDAs. Victor? I ghosted him. Then leaked his DARPA ties to Wired. Scandal sent him slinking to Dubai. Samantha Hayes? Elena rotted in Cook County lockup, babbling about neural bridges to a psych eval board. Delusional episode, they called it, shipping her to a state-funded ward in Elgin. I visited once. Under heavy makeup and a fake accent, cruelty's little luxury. She was a shell, my old cardigans hanging loose, eyes hollowed by lithium haze. Sam, she croaked through plexiglass. End this. Swap back. I pressed the receiver close. Who's Sam?
Elena.
Get help. Her scream followed me out. A banshee wail in fluorescent hell. But cracks spiderwebbed my facade. Mornings brought nausea, not coffee, but disconnection. Elena's body rebelled, migraines from my untreated anxiety, skin breaking out in hives at boardroom stress. Her personal trainer cooed. Push through. Boss, but inside. I mourn my curves, my freckles, the tattoo on my hip from a wild Vegas weekend she'd mocked. Intimacy?
Non-starter.
A blind date with a venture capitalist ended in panic. His hands on her skin felt like grave robbing. Worse, the secrets kept surfacing. Diving deeper into her files, I unearthed the vault's abyss. Vostech wasn't just crooked, it was complicit. Emails to a shadownet syndicate, dark web brokers peddling EchoSwap to cartels, swapping identities for assassins, debtors vanishing into innocents' lives. Elena hadn't invented it, she'd scaled it, profiting off human trafficking in souls. One thread led to a girl in Miami, 19, now erased after testifying against a Voss supplier. Collateral.
Like me.
Guilt nod. Controversial as confessing to a priest in a confessional of lies. Was I saving lives by taking the reins? Or just the new tyrant? I greenlit audits. Funneled pension funds back. Hero moves for the press. Fortune ran a puff piece. Voss's redemption arc. But nights alone. City lights mocking. I wondered, who was the real monster? Her? For the swap?
Me.
For reveling in it? The tension peaked at the annual shareholder gala. Palmer House ballroom dripping crystal and caviar. Chicago's elite swirled. Aldermen. Heiresses. The apex CEO I'd screwed, now an ally. Winking over oysters. I worked the room in Elena's crimson gown. Charm dialed to 11. But sweat beaded under the lights. Then, a ghost, Raj. The engineer. Cornered by the bar. MS. Voss, he slurred. 3 whiskeys deep. The logs. I fixed them, like you asked. But the anomaly? It was you. In the system.
How?
Drunk honesty. Or trap. I smiled, clinking his glass.
Loyalty pays. Raj.
Forget it. But he persisted. Voice dropping. Haze. She was in your code. The real you? Panic flickered. Had I slipped? Or Elena? From her cell. Hacking back. I excused myself, heart slamming, and slipped to the powder room. Mirror lied again, her poise. My terror. A text buzzed, unknown number. Enjoying my life.
Sam, check the drive. Zoxo. A.
Attached, a USB icon. Airdropped. I plugged into her phone, stupid. But curiosity's a bitch. Files flooded. Backups of my leaks. Timestamps proving I'd orchestrated the stock crash from inside. Forged?
No, real.
She'd anticipated betrayal. Mirrored my moves with her own moles. The senator? Her plant. Blackthorn? Poison pill to bankrupt Vostek post-swap. Twist of the knife, audio. My voice, hers, confessing to Victor weeks ago. Sam's playing hero. Let her. When she cracks, we swap back and frame her for the leaks. Laughter. Intimate.
Damning.
She'd planned the double cross from minute 1. The permanent lock? Her override. Waiting for this gala to trigger remotely. Midnight. Souls flip again. Me back in hell. Her crowned. Fury ignited. Dark and tensile. No more games. I smashed the phone. Shards glittering like broken trust. Back in the ballroom. I seized the mic at dessert. Impromptu toast. American bravado. Ladies. Gentlemen. To Vostek's future. One built on truth.
Not shadows.
Then. The bomb. Projector hijacked. ShadowNet docs beaming across screens. Gasps rippled. Phones whipped out. Live tweeting the apocalypse. Chaos erupted. Shareholders fleeing. Apex exec dialing lawyers. Security swarmed. I stood serene. Elena's mask flawless. But inside, calculations raced. By time. Expose all. As cops cuffed me, ironic. In her body, I whispered to the lead detective. Call Elena Voss's lawyer. Tell him it's over. Interrogation room. Division Street Station. Fluorescent buzz. Coffee like motor oil. They grilled me on the leaks. The gala stunt. Corporate espionage. MS. Voss. Or breakdown. I spun a tale. Whistleblower guilt.
Elena Voss unmasked.
Evidence? The USB fragments. pieced by forensics. By dawn, feds swarmed Vostek, Raj flipping like a gymnast for immunity. Elena got wind in Elgin, paroled to federal holding. My old body frail under orange jumpsuit. Our reunion was a video link, her eyes wild. You ruined everything. Mirrors.
Elena.
You taught me. I leaned in, pixels blurring tears. The swap, it's done. But the real twist? I didn't lock it. You did your code. Your failsafe. Afraid I'd steal it all. Her face crumpled. My face.
Shattered. Lies.
We were sisters. Were. Guards cut the feed. Her screams echoed. Release came slow. House arrest in the penthouse. Ankle monitor chafing Elena's ankle bone. Trials loomed, hers for fraud, mine for.
What?
Vigilantism? The press devoured it. Soul Sisters swap saga. Who wore it best? Pundits debated. Empowerment or psychosis? I lawyered up with her Rolodex. Countess sued for defamation. Controversial decisions piled. I donated the slush fund to trafficking NGOs. Testified against ShadowNet. Hero? Or opportunist laundering sins. But tension coiled tighter. Victor resurfaced. Not slinking, suing for breach. Claiming echo swap patents. His deposition. Voss and Hayes? Inseparable. The swap was mutual, a game. Gasps in court. My lawyer shredded him. But doubt seated. Had I misread? No, her texts. The frames. Undeniable. Climax brewed in a stormy November afternoon. Federal courthouse downtown. Elena's trial. Racketeering. Identity fraud. I took the stand. Her body in a tailored suit. Swearing truth. She stole my life. Literally. Cross-exam. Her attorney, Hargrove. Oily as ever. MS. Voss, or should I say Hayes? You profited. Penthouse. Power. Revenge. Or ambition. Objection overruled. I met his gaze. Both. America rewards the ruthless. She just picked the wrong sister. Jury deliberated 2 days. Verdict. Guilty. 25 years. Cheers outside. But my win tasted ash. As they led her away, she twisted, mouthing, "It's not over." Nights after, insomnia gripped. Dreams of flipping back, waking as me, her ghost haunting. Was the swap truly locked? Or her final ploy? Paranoia peaked, shadows in the penthouse. Calls from untraceables. One voice. Distorted. Enjoy it while it lasts. Sam. Revenge's high faded to you, am hollow. I'd won. But at what cost? A life unlived. A soul splintered. Chicago winters howled, mirroring the storm within. Spring 2024 thawed Chicago's iron grip, but mine lingered, frost in the veins. A permanent chill from Elena's shadow. House arrest lifted in February. I emerged Elena Voss reborn. Vostek rebranded as Ecoethics, pivoting to legit AI therapy. Stock soared on goodwill. I keynote at CES. Voice steady. Technology should heal, not hijack. Audiences applauded. Blind to the irony, the hijacker, preaching redemption. But power's a drug, addictive and adulterated. Boardrooms bowed, lovers orbited, drawn to the tragic survivor, aura. I dated a curator from the MCA, soft hands, poetry over Pinot, but intimacy faltered. Kisses on her lips felt like echoes. bodies misaligned. "You're distant," he said one night, Lake Michigan glittering beyond his loft. "Like you're wearing someone else's skin. Close enough." I ghosted him, dove deeper into work. Controversial pivot. I open-sourced EchoSwap's core, neural mapping for good, vetted trials for trauma survivors. Backlash roared. Ethicists cried, playing God. Tabloids, bosses God complex. Protests outside HQ. Signs. Swap back humanity. Debatable legacy. Savior or Frankenstein. Elena's appeals dragged. Her letters smuggled via guards. Sam. The truth? It was mutual. You begged for the swap. Ambitions whisper. Check the original logs. Poison pen. Burrowing doubt. I hired hackers, clean ones, to scour. Nothing. Or so I thought. Twist crashed in May. A subpoena from her final play. Civil suit. Wrongful identity theft. Deposition scheduled. Neutral ground. A sterile conference room in the Loop. She shuffled in. My old body aged a decade in months. Gray streaks in my former brunette. Eyes sunken but sharp. No plexiglass, just a table. Guards at door. Sam, she started. Voice mine but cracked. Or Elena. Whoever. I crossed her legs, mine now. Save the act. You're done. Her laugh rasped. Am I? The logs, real ones. Raj didn't destroy them. I have copies. She slid a thumb drive across scarred wood. Watch. Trembling, I plugged into the room's laptop. Footage, that night. Boardroom. But not as I remembered. Me, pre-swap, pacing, not hesitant. Elena. The SEC's closing. Let me take the heat, as you swap me in. I'll pitch. Then confess. You vanish.
Start clean in my life.
It's perfect. Her voice. Off screen. Sam?
No.
It's risky. My on-screen self-insistent. For you? Anything. Sisters forever. The file ended. Vertigo hit harder than the first swap. Forged?
No. Dime stampsiron clad.
My email trail begging the setup. I'd blacked out the coercion. Rewritten history in Rage's ink. The frame? My idea. Desperation masked as loyalty. The assault pics? I'd buried them myself, protecting her from my shame. Elena leaned in.
My old smile sly.
You wanted out.
Sam.
My life was the escape hatch. I agreed, reluctant. But for you. The permanent lock? Your code tweak. Paranoia thinking I'd bail. Victor confirmed it. Lies. Truth reversed. World inverting. I'd been the schemer. Her the reluctant accomplice. Or had she gaslit me from the start? Planting seeds? Debatable. Her eyes held no remorse. Just mirror malice. Why till now? I whispered. Twist ending. Baby. Appeals granted, new trial. Your testimony voided. Echo swap. My IP. You'll swap back. Or the world sees the real Samantha Hayes, architect of her own cage. Guards tensed. I yanked the drive. Heart a war drum. Outside. Rain lashed again, full circle. Drive to the penthouse blurred in tears. Was it true? Hackers confirmed. Logs matched. I'd authored my prison. Revenge a delusion. But you am tension peaked. Choice. Call her bluff. Expose mutual sins. Burn both empires? Or surrender? Swap back to obscurity. America loves its villains redeemed. But what if we both were? Midnight. Lab sterile as memory. She arrived, cuffed but smirking, my face. Victorious. Visors hummed, static swirled. Ready to go home. Sam. I don mine. Fingers steady. One truth. Did you love me? Ever?
Pause.
Her voice soft, like a sister. Faulty wiring and all. Vertigo claimed us. Clarity snapped, back in my skin. Wicker Park's drafty chill embracing like an old coat. Elena, in hers, sighed relief. Finally. But as she reached for the door, I triggered the real failsafe, my hidden virus, frying the device forever. No reversals. Enjoy the penthouse, I said, blocking her path. But Vostek? It's mine, shares transferred pre-swap. Walk away, or we both fall. Her eyes, ice blue, furious, widened. You bitch. This isn't over. It is. Cops waited outside my tip. Her escape attempt. She screamed as they cuffed her again. True permanent now. I watched from the stoop, rain soaking my old jeans. Victory?
Pyrrhic.
The truth reversed. I'd been villain and victim. Her mirror twin. Ending happy, me free. Her jailed? Or tragic? Souls scarred eternal? Readers debate, I live it. Months later. Chicago hums indifferent. I consult freelance. Low-key. Scars fading. Elena rots. Appeals denied. Revenge's echo lingers. Was justice served? Or just swapped? In America's grand, gritty theater. Maybe that's the point, no heroes. Just survivors scripting the next act. And sometimes, in quiet nights, I sign to the mirror, old habit from a deaf aunt, silent vows. Forgive? Never. Forget?
Try.